Maybe I'm just not making myself clear. I don't want to fuck with you, son. But I got the connection. I got the sales organization. I got the muscle to shove enough of this factory so far up your stupid wop ass that you'll shit snow for a year.
Frankie, blow this cocksucker's head off.
Ooh, guns. Come on, Sal. Tigers are playing. 2 nights. I never miss a game.
Just kidding.
Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing a review for Robocop, the 1987 version. So yeah, I've already done a review for the 2014, the reboot version of Robocop. So I'll leave a link here as an annotation for those who want to check that one out. So yeah, I'm also gonna do a spoiler warning as usual. Even though the two movies, if you've seen the reboot, it's okay. If you've seen this one, it's okay. I mean, because for the most part, the plot is basically the same thing. And for the most part, the story overall is the same thing. The only difference is that the reboot has a few extra things, which I'm not gonna say outright. But the reboot does have some extra added content, added scenes, and added stuff overall. I'm not gonna ruin that much. So yeah, preferably I would want you guys to watch the original one, the 1987. But again, it's okay if you watch the reboot. And again, I am gonna leave a link over here for those who want to check out my review of the 2014 version, the reboot for Robocop. So yeah, spoiler warning as usual, 10 seconds as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up. So yeah, I already gave on my spoiler warning. Again, preferably if you've watched this one. But again, it's okay if you watched the reboot, cause again, basically the same thing. So yeah, this movie, the original one, features Peter Weller, Nancy Allen, Dan O'Herlihy, Ronnie Cox, Kurtwood Smith, Miguel Ferrer, Robert Doakey, Ray Wise, and Felton Perry, and Calvin Jung, I believe is how you say his name, Jung, whatever. So yeah, that's basically the bulk of the main cast. So yeah, now as I said before, the plots are basically the same, but still, as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate. So yeah, as I said before, the plots are still pretty basically the same thing, which basically revolves around Alex Murphy, who is a Detroit cop, or a cop from Detroit, the city of Detroit. Up in this case, it'd be in the past or pretty close to our time, but what they intend to do is sometime in the future. Okay. Basically, you have the technology kind of evolving, getting more advanced, and what they want is bring some of the technology to the cop and law enforcement world, so to see how much safer it will be. Alex Murphy gets into an accident and he's chosen as the first person. He's privileged as the first person to try out the Robocop program, or I believe it's called like that. And I know it's called something like that in the reboot, but I don't think they actually named it here. But a Robocop program, which is basically the ability to be part of this program that will let you become a Robocop. Up to that time, nobody's really ever heard of anything like that, and this is evolutionary. This is gonna change the world. He basically becomes Robocop. And basically he's to take down, for the most part of this movie, is to take down this gang of drug dealers, um, who at the same time were the gang that murdered him or attempted to murder him before it was Robocop, and had some kind of suspicious, or have done some kind of suspicious activity with Omnicorp and some of its high-ranking leaders. So yeah. Now, the writing for this movie was decent. That's also, I want to say that. Most of the acting was decent. The action scenes were decent, but I'm pretty sure back then in the 80s they were better than today's standards. And I'm saying this because most of the action scenes contained CGI. As you know, CGI back then was way different from the CGI we have now. Because the CGI we have now is more realistic, it's more believable. The CGI they used back then was, like bulky, choppy. Right to this movie, it was like bulky, choppy, like stop animation or clay, or with clay or claymation, or the clay models, whatever. It kind of did seem like that for in this movie. When you have a few of the CGIs, kind of seems like animate, not really good animation, like claymation models, the stop motion. So yeah, now I'm not gonna complain too much on the animation, because I do understand that back then the technology was different. It was just different. So there's certain things they can do that they can't do. There's certain things back then that they couldn't do that we could do now. So I'm not gonna complain at close to at all about the CGI. But I I do have to say though that does affect how some of the action scenes came out. So for some of the action scenes came out decent, but the CGI overall, I'm gonna take into perspective of as if I was back in the 80s. I'm gonna say looked pretty good CGI. I mean, for the most part, actually was pretty good CGI. I've actually seen worse CGI in this day and age, to be completely honest with you too. So no, it was good CGI. I'm not gonna complain that much on it. Now my biggest complaint, my biggest gripe is that the actor who plays RoboCop, or Alex Murphy, Peter Weller, that's the actor. He was too stiff, in my opinion. He was too damn stiff. Now, I do realize, he is a cop, that's turned into a robot, so, to an extent, he should be stiff. But, here, I mean, if I want, I mean, I'm gonna compare it a bit to the 2014 version. In the 2014 version, I forget who plays him in the 2014 version, but the guy who plays him in the 2014 version, does a better job of bringing out emotion, and bringing out not acting, but how do I say this? Bringing out certain things that this actor couldn't do. Emotion was one of them, because they tried to do a few emotional scenes, but it just didn't look right, in my opinion. There's just there's a lot of things that the actor from the 2014 version did that this actor couldn't do. Now, granted, we are in a new day and age, but even after that, the acting by Peter Weller was just too stiff, and it was too stiff. I really didn't care for RoboCop at the end of the movie. And I also have to say that there's like no character development with any of the characters at all, and really that's not good when you're trying to make a franchise, in my opinion. It's not good when you're trying to make a franchise. I mean, but at the end, I didn't care for RoboCop. Granted, it had some pretty good action scenes. He was pretty cool. The outfit was pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I didn't care about RoboCop. I didn't care about any of the other characters. And, I just didn't care overall for some of the characters. Compare, again, If you compare this to the 2014 version, you had great character development. You actually feel something for Robocop, because the actor who portrays him, I forget who he is, does an amazing job. It goes more in depth. It is darker. It is grittier. In my opinion, there are certain aspects of it that are better. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, then there's also the fact that, they had this kind of to an extent in the 2014 version, which I also didn't understand or like either. Where they cut to the news broadcast things. I mean, I really don't understand as to why they're even cutting to the news broadcast. But it's also what they add here. But either way, I didn't really like the news broadcast in any of the movies. But whatever. What they did here is that they added a commercial. So, and it was just really bad product placement, in my opinion. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to the product they were trying to do. I'm pretty sure they're fake products. But yeah, I mean, this movie, in my opinion, has too many things. They're just weird about it. I am gonna say that the writing, for the most part, was decent. The action scenes, for the most part, were decent. I'm not really gonna complain about the CGI. I understand that with time there is change, but and still the CGI, it is pretty good. So yeah, but the acting is just, especially from Peter Weller, it could have been better in my opinion. The action scenes, as I said before, are good. But, at the end of the day, I just don't care about any of the characters. I don't care about Robocop. I really do hope that in Robocop 2, and I think there's a Robocop 3, I'm not completely sure on that. I really hope, and from the original trilogy, I'm not talking about the new one, the original trilogy, I really hope, if I am to watch those in the future, I really hope that they give him character development. They actually make me feel for him, because at the end, I'm not really gonna care for Robocop. So yeah, on a rate, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I give this a 5 out of 10. I mean, it's just got too many problems in my opinion. They're all decent. I still say the action scenes are pretty good. The lines, for the most part, are pretty decent. There are a few things to like about it, but for overall, this is just the acting is really the one thing that bothers me, and the fact that there is no character development. Because at the end of the day, you just don't care about the main person, the main protagonist, and that's not good. That's never good in any movie. I mean, yeah, in any movie that's not good. I mean, that's basically it for this video. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews, so definitely stay tuned for those. Comment down below on your thoughts on Robocop, the 1987 version. What you think of it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? More than 5, less than 5? What are your thoughts? And also down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on me making a video comparing the two Robocop movies, Robocop the original versus Robocop the reboot? Which is better? Thinking about doing a video on that. Pretty sometime later this week. So yeah, comment down below on your thoughts on that. Besides that, click here for those who want to check out my thoughts on the reboot. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Comment down below, on your thoughts. Click my review of the reboot. Remember to like this video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for this video. This is Daniel Mart signing off.